Okay, so growing up, I grew up on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's cliche to say, I know, but I grew up with it, and I used to have an era where I was obsessed with Ninja Turtles. I would go after the toys. I'd get upset if I couldn't get one of the toys. I really wanted to see the 2014 movie, and I'm kind of glad I didn't see it in theaters. And yeah, and one of the things I grew up with was the 2012 show. That's how I got into Ninja Turtles. I saw a commercial for it when I was little, and I went, oh my gosh, this show looked awesome. And yeah, I wanted to watch it, and I watched it, and that's how I fell in love with Ninja Turtles. And so, I decided, because I've been watching Ninja Turtles a lot lately, it's really fun. And I decided every Thursday, or at least try to, I'm going to review every single Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 2012 episodes. Yeah, and there's a lot of episodes, but it's worth it. We're going to get through a few hundred weeks just to review every single episode. It's kind of like what Star Wars Explained did when he reviewed every single Clone Wars episode. Now we're going to be talking about Ninja Turtles. So the first episode was Rise of the Turtles. And we basically get our introduction of the Turtles. We see them in the training room, in the dojo, and we don't know where they are, other than we see them in the sewers. But then it's revealed they live in a lair and have their own dojo, and then yeah, we get intense music, and we already get a glimpse of the voices of our characters. We have Leo versus Mikey, Raph versus Donnie, and we already know where it's all going. And then yeah, then we see Master Splinter, and dang, I gotta say, I might fanboy over Splinter during these reviews, but Hun Lee is probably my favorite Splinter voice. Like, he did such an amazing job with Splinter. The character was so well written, even in this first episode. And yeah, basically the episode is the turtles want to go up in the surface because they're tired of being in the sewers all day and want to explore New York. And so Splinter's just like, but then he says yes after their happy mutation day where they eat allergies and worms, even a cake version of it that Mikey made. And yeah, we get a cool scene where the turtles load out their weapons, and yeah, they're ready for New York. And then, yeah, Splinter gets in the morning, and then, yeah, they're amazed by what New York looks like. And, yeah. And then, they scare a pizza guy off because of Raph. And, yeah, they take the pizza, and then we get the first time we ever saw the Ninja Turtles ever eat pizza. Now, the Ninja Turtles are obsessed with pizza. I don't know much about the 2003 show, if they were obsessed with pizza in that show, but definitely the 80s show, they were obsessed with pizza. And so basically, Mikey's head just explodes from eating pizza. Yeah, it's quite an iconic scene. And I just like the line where he goes, "Ugh, you guys won't like it." And then he ate it. And then the rest of the turtles ate it. And Raph is just like, "This is better than allergies and worms." And then later, we get our first scene where we see April and her dad. April O'Neil, who's like a reporter, but in this version, she's just a teenage girl. I always wondered if April was going to become a reporter in the show, but nope. She's just someone who hangs out with the turtles and helps them with their missions and joins them on their adventures. And yeah, they get captured by the Krang, and I love the scene where the turtles are struggling to fight the Krang. They don't realize they're robots yet, but they're really struggling. And the part where Leo accidentally stabs Raph, and Raph is just like, "Hey!" And then yeah, they run away. And then Mikey runs into a Krang who looks like a human, but then Mikey just stabs it with his nunchuck blade thing, and then the Krang is revealed to be a robot. And yeah, and then the brain comes out, which is the Krang, and then he attacks Mikey, and Mikey's just screaming, and it's funny. And then Mikey tries to explain it, and then the turtles are just like, "What are you going on about?" And yeah, and yeah, they tell Splinter about what happened, and then he decides who the leader should be. And that being Leonardo. Leonardo was always meant to be the leader. I know Rise of the Ninja Turtles did like Raphael as the leader, but I got used to it when I saw that show. But yeah, and then the Turtles go on this manhunt to find out about who those Krang were, even though they don't know they're Krang yet. And then they meet the guy Snake, who's a thug who becomes Snakeweed later in the episode. This is a two-parter, by the way. And yeah, they do kidnap him, and they find the ooze, and they find out. And I love the part where Mikey goes, "Mom?" And then yeah, Raph tries to use the mutagen to turn the man into a mutant, and he goes, "You'll be as handsome as me, or as disgusting as Mikey." And he goes, "Hey." And I did like the part in the car chase where like the music's playing and then they're running, and then yeah, that was a nice fast-pacing scene. And yeah, and then the turtles later set up like a diversion where they use this truck, and yeah, they plop out mutagen, and then it hits Snake when he escaped them after a long wait, when the turtles are waiting on top of the building. And then he becomes Snakeweed. And yeah, the turtles basically sneak into a Krang base and they rescue April. And they have a final battle with Snakeweed. And yeah, they use their ninja blades. Or no, shurikens. And yeah, they get away, but April's dad's kidnapped, which is more relevant in the plot later in the season. And yeah, April stays with her aunt. My problem with that is we don't see the aunt, and we never see the aunt again after this episode. Like, we never did, but she's just mentioned. Like, we never get mentions of this aunt. Nothing. Even in like season 2, where April had her dad mutated, like, who does April stay with? How does she get her own food and stuff? But yeah, I know that's a nitpick, but yeah. So yeah, that's basically the first 2 episodes of Ninja Turtles. I know I've been saying everything I like about it, but dang, this show was childhood. I know the animation probably did look a little rough, but this was their first try at it, since this is like a full-on 3D animated stuff. And it's amazing what they were able to do with this show. This show had 5 seasons. That's amazing. And yeah, we also get a teaser of Shredder because he saw on the news. What fascinates me is, like, what if Shredder didn't see it on the news? Like, what if the Turtles didn't throw those shurikens that make Shredder realize that the Hamato Yoshi, which is Splinter, is still alive? And yeah, that's what creates the fascinating story of Hamato Yoshi and Orokusagi. Sorry if I said his name wrong. It's very Japanese kind of names. And yeah, they tell this amazing backstory. And they also told the amazing story of how the Turtles got mutated. Splinter buys them when he was a human. And yeah, he runs into the Krang, and they fight, and then mutagen spills, and that's how the Turtles were born. And there was a later episode in season 5 where they explain how they found the lair and stuff, but yeah, maybe I'll talk about that one day. But yeah, how would I rate these episodes? Why not a 10 out of 10? Or like a 9.5. So yeah, I didn't really have any cons with this episode. I feel like my only con with this show is just the New York in the show kind of doesn't really feel like New York. It feels like one area. Like, we just see the villains, the Turtles. I know they don't have time to animate the people and stuff, but yeah, that's my thoughts on the first 2 episodes of Ninja Turtles. So I'll definitely like to review all the other episodes, of course. I got tons of great memories with this show. So yeah, Thanks for watching, and cowabunga.